dear Savior's birth.
Season's greetings! I am your host, Dr. Wolfula, and when I'm not tricking children into thinking I'm Santa Claus so I can force them into slavery within my ice mines, I'm here at the Wolfula reviewing movies. If you're anything like me, then you've grown tired of the drawn-out Christmas movies that the holidays are known for having. Movies like Miracle on 34th Street, It's a Wonderful Life, and Die Hard. No, you're looking for something different. And boy, is this flick different. I'm, of course, talking about Black Christmas. Now, when you hear the title Black Christmas, you're probably assuming that it's a Tyler Perry Christmas comedy. Well, it's not, you racist scum. Black Christmas, aka Silent Night, Evil Night, was one of the first slasher films, and was the predecessor to other holiday horror classics like Christmas Evil and Santa Claus. Is Black Christmas scary? Yes. Is it weird? Depends. Is it good? Definitely. Released in 1974, Black Christmas features many of the staples that would be popularized in later slasher films like Halloween and Friday the 13th, or other 80s horror movies. You have a mysterious killer who has a thing for murdering people in a variety of different ways. You have a young cast of women who are the primary victims of the killer. A first-person perspective is employed usually when the killer is present. The killer calls his victims, frequently threatening them in a bizarre, frightening way.
He's expanded his act. Could that be one person? No, Claire, that's the Mormon Tabernacle Choir doing their annual obscene phone call.
Fun fact, the film was directed by Bob Clark, who would later prove that he can make an excellent Christmas movie for families as well. Black Christmas is a fantastic horror film with a great tense atmosphere. I definitely recommend it.
The caller is in the house.
The calls are coming from the house.
Jess!
Jess, get up! And don't go up there.
But I'm not talking about Black Christmas right now. No, I'm talking about Black Christmas. The new one, I mean. During the Christmas of 2006, a new entry in the Black Christmas series was released. It was the only other entry in the series besides the original. Yeah, I know, a well-regarded slasher film not getting tons of sequels? Crazy! Of course, since this new Black Christmas was released in the mid-2000s, it's a remake by default. Or maybe it's a reimagining. It can't be a reboot. Certainly not a sequel. Whatever it is, the new Black Christmas is a loose adaptation of the original. It's Christmas time at a sorority, and there's a killer named Billy on the loose. Besides that, the story is totally different. So why is this particular sorority house, Delta Alpha Kappa, the target of a killer on Christmas? Well, it turns out that the sorority house used to be the killer's home. Yeah, seriously. The movie never explains why a sorority is housed in the former site of a series of murders, but hey, it's Camp Crystal Lake, so whatever. Who's the killer, you ask? Well, the guy is named Billy Lenz. The movie offers a fairly lengthy origin story for this fellow, but he's honestly a standard slasher villain with mommy issues.
You guys keep him locked up with just a padlock?
That lock's just to make him feel at home.
Right, because his mom kept him locked in the basement his whole life.
The attic. See, that's the key to Billy Lenz. He just wants to feel at home. Especially on Christmas.
Billy's backstory is shown throughout the film in flashback form. I'm going to tell you the whole thing in one go. It turns out that Billy was born with yellow skin for reasons. I guess the writer just gave Billy yellow skin so he would have some standout characteristic. Jason has a hockey mask, Freddy has burned skin, and, Billy is, yellow. I guess that's kind of cool. Billy's dad was pretty alright with the whole yellow skin thing, but unfortunately, his mom was a bitch. One Christmas, Billy witnesses his dad getting murdered by his mom's boyfriend. Well, I suppose it's far more preferable than divorce. Ask yourself this, though. Would you really kill anybody for this chick? My disbelief can only be so suspended. Billy's mom catches her boy, catching her, and pursues her child like some sort of bizarre Home Alone sequel. Billy winds up having to live in the attic like that one V.C. Andrews novel. By the way, have you ever read Flowers in the Attic? It's pretty fucked up. Relatively speaking, Billy manages to have a normal childhood living in the attic. Until his mom rapes him at the age of 12 so she can have a baby. Man, this kid just can't catch a break. Neither can I, apparently. I keep watching Christmas horror movies with rape in them. Jack Frost had a rapist snowman in it, for God's sake. Enough of my problems, though. It's Billy who has to deal with having a baby sister and also being a 12-year-old father. That's pretty rough, especially since his daughter is named Agnes. That's an old lady name. One Christmas, Billy snaps and decides to go sick house on his family. Billy disfigures his sister/daughter, effortlessly kills his stepdad, but his mom, oh, she gets special treatment. Billy not only kills the woman, he arbitrarily makes gingerbread cookies out of her flesh. I guess the filmmakers just wanted a gross-out moment. I honestly didn't need the close-up of his mouth, but thanks, guys. You don't do what Billy did and get off scot-free, so Billy is carted off to an asylum. Based on the laughter, I'm assuming that it's Arkham Asylum. Actually, it's called Clark Asylum, named after the director of the original movie, I know. Of course, if it's a movie, nobody stays imprisoned in an asylum. They always get out because otherwise it would be pretty boring. So Billy escapes on a Christmas 15 years later. Huh. A killer escaping on a holiday after spending 15 years in an asylum. That doesn't sound familiar at all. Billy's headed home, but since it's currently occupied by a sorority, moving in will be somewhat awkward. That sets the scene for Black Christmas's killings, although murders seem to occur long before Billy escapes. Who is the mysterious second killer in the house? Based on my description of the plot, it should be quite clear that I don't have a very high opinion of the Black Christmas remake. It's not really fair, though, to compare it to the original since it's such a different movie, so I'll only do a teensy bit of comparison. The first scene of the film establishes that it doesn't have much up its sleeve. A character approaches a closet because she heard a noise. This is just like in the original. She checks inside, but finds nothing at all. Okay then, so this remake tries to subvert my expectations by having the killer attack the same way, but from a different direction. If Psycho was ever remade again, God forbid, the shower scene should be changed so that Norman Bates is in the shower, and when Marion is about to get in, Bates stabs her. Nobody will ever see it coming. Just like in the original, Billy calls his victims before he attacks. These phone calls were significantly scarier in the original. In fact, the phone calls were the scariest thing. Here, I'll play one.
You big cunt. You big cunt. You big cunt.
Let me lick it. Lick it. Lick it. Let me lick your pretty piggy cunt.
Okay, that was pretty fucked up. Here's a phone call from the new film.
Hey, where are you?
She's my family now.
Everyone should be home for Christmas.
I'll be home for Christmas. I'm going to bury that in your head.
I mean, if I got the phone call in real life, I wouldn't be very alarmed, but that might just be because I get threatening phone calls all the time. Still, why do phone calls at all in a horror movie in this post-Scream world? Black Christmas has a lot of issues building up suspense. There was only one scene that I thought was pretty suspenseful. One of the characters is stuck in a wall with the killer slowly approaching. That was a pretty cool scene. Besides that, it's usually just suddenly gore happens with little build-up. The movie is a huge fan of eyes getting pulled out, and I guess it's just for the sake of shock value. I mean, who honestly likes it when their eyes get pulled out? Show of hands. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Wow, a lot of freaks watch my show. Another thing that gets used a lot when the murders happen, bags covering heads. In the original, the killer does this, like, once, but it happens all the time in the remake. I guess it's the trademark. I mean, it's not Black Christmas without a bag on somebody's head. The most I think Black Christmas will accomplish, horror-wise, is making you feel kind of uncomfortable. There are tons of eyes popping out, and there's even an off-screen child rape. It certainly made me cringe a few times, but, yeah, I wasn't scared at any point while watching Black Christmas. If you're a gorehound, you'll probably be fairly satisfied, but it takes a long time before the interesting mutilations happen. Well, the horror is a bust, but let's examine the cast of characters in Black Christmas. Of course, the cast is primarily comprised of sorority sisters. They're, female, I suppose, and, interchangeable. I guess these ladies are in college to get their degree in supermodeling.
Have you looked outside? It's raining hail the size of Yah's ball sack.
It'll stop. The party gods won't allow me to be here by myself over Christmas break.
Oh, I'll be here, Dana.
Yeah, they're making me work next week. That sucks. Everyone should be home for Christmas.
None of these girls were particularly interesting or memorable. Except maybe the bitchy character. I guess bitchiness is memorable.
I need to bury the hatchet with my sister. Right in her head.
Oh, look, it's Andrea Martin playing the house mother. She actually played the nerdy character in the original movie. That was back when horror movies could have female characters that look like normal people instead of bland cover girls that all look the same.
What are you doing? Here you go. What is that thing?
Are you kidding?
Bitch. Frigid southern princess.
Well, there's also Eve, I suppose. All the other girls hate Eve because she doesn't look like a supermodel like them. Anyway, Eve gifts, this character with a glass unicorn, like in the original movie.
Thanks, Eve. That's so sweet.
I know you like the Bible and stuff.
Fuck Eve for looking like a realistic person and being likable. Good thing she dies off camera after only being on screen for a couple of minutes. You're probably wondering, out of all these generic characters, who among them is the hero of the film? You've heard this before from me, but honestly, I didn't know who the main character was until about roughly an hour into the movie. Apparently Kelly here is the protagonist. She didn't seem all that different from the other sorority girls.
Yeah, but it's not anytime now. It's Christmas.
I know, but it's our first. We should be together.
We will. On Christmas Day. I can't wait till you see what I got you. And then we'll be together all week. Well, besides when I have to work.
That sucks. Everyone should be home for Christmas.
Kelly may seem familiar to you. She's played by Katie Cassidy, who has been in 2 other horror remakes, When a Stranger Calls and Nightmare on Elm Street. I guess horror remake casting directors just get the same people because nobody will notice anyway. Usually, when the cast of characters in a horror movie is kind of lame, you can at least count on the killer to be kind of cool, but not the case with Billy Lenz. He just looks like a guy with yellow skin whose lines are mostly comprised of, "I'm gonna kill you."
She's my family now.
If you're gonna have him talk, at least have him crack some jokes or something. The only reason for why Billy is yellow that I can think of is that the writer of the movie saw Sin City and said, "That would be a good look." The characters in the house don't even take Billy seriously. Even after he threatens them multiple times over the phone, the girls just ignore him. The ladies make no attempt to escape until a little while after they find the first corpse. Black Christmas has a couple of subplots when people aren't being stabbed. The film has an absolutely touching theme of sisterhood. The Kristen Cloak and Katie Cassidy characters bond over time, becoming surrogate sisters.
Yeah, if I had a sister, I would expect her to go up there.
How would you know you don't have a sister?
She does.
Kristen Cloak's character becomes a little too loyal to a person she barely knows, but hey, it's Christmas! The other subplot is a little, personal. The sorority is about to open presents, but one of the girls just isn't in the mood this year.
We're opening up presents in 5 minutes! You're not downstairs and I'm gonna take your presents!
Just fuck Christmas.
fuck it.
Wow, she's a modern Ebenezer Scrooge. Yeah, like, remember how in A Christmas Carol, Scrooge watched a video of himself having sex with his ex-boyfriend? It's just like in this movie. Later, it turns out that Kelly's boyfriend leaked a sex tape on the internet with his ex-girlfriend, and the discovery of this leads to drama.
Am I gonna show up on there? Isn't sex enough, Kyle? You need little visual trophies to get your trophy.
Shut the fuck up!
This is pretty weird, since the bigger deal should be the fact that there's a fucking killer wandering around. The whole sex tape thing just doesn't go anywhere. Okay, I'm about to spoil the twist and ending of this movie, so if for some reason you still want to watch this movie relatively unspoiled, I suggest you skip to this time code for my final verdict. Alright, almost everybody dies, except for Kelly, of course, and Lee, the Kristen Cloak character. They find the second mystery killer in the attic. Who, you ask? It's Agnes, Billy's daughter/sister. As an adult, she looks a lot like Fred Armisen. Oh my god. I think that is Fred Armisen.
I'm not your family. And your brother's not here.
No, my daddy's here.
Anyway, through a series of events involving the power of sisterhood and a dumbbell, Kelly and Lee outwit the father/daughter/brother/sister killers. Billy and Agnes also get set on fire. Oh, good. Guess what, though? The movie isn't over. There's a hospital scene. Couldn't this be in the sequel? Kelly and Lee are chilling out, but unbeknownst to them, but knowns to us, Billy and Agnes still live and are really fucking pissed. Why do they need to come back to life? Well, if they don't, then the movie would only be 70 minutes long. Yeah, it's a really short movie. So they gotta tack on this unnecessary hospital scene for an extra 7 minutes. Lee is killed effortlessly by Agnes through a neck snap. Where's that power of love when you need it most, bitch? Kelly is next on the chopping block, but she calls for help. Turns out, though, that the hospital staff is coincidentally distracted by carolers and can't help Kelly. The movie is just telling me that I should be afraid of coincidences more than anything else. Agnes goes down pretty easy with those defibrillators. I guess she couldn't muster up that trusty incest strength. Billy's still around, so there's a bit more cat and mouse. Look at this not scary motherfucker.
You picked up the fucking trash! You picked up the trash!
Merry Christmas, motherfucker!
Well, when it seems that Billy is just about to win, he learns the true meaning of Christmas. No, I'm just fucking kidding with you. He gets impaled on a Christmas tree. Well, I guess that means there won't be a sequel. They could have had Agnes attack Kelly at the last moment or something, but no. It's definitely the end. You can go home feeling safe, people. Nothing sums up Black Christmas better than its title card. It looks like it was rushed, written with a Sharpie at the last minute by an intern on a piece of construction paper. The movie looks the part of a horror film, it's shot pretty decently, but it's never all that scary. The killer is supposed to have an edgy origin story, but it ends up coming off as silly. Billy is like some weird amalgamation of Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and Norman Bates. The guy is a total hodgepodge. The only standout in Black Christmas is Billy's mom, and that's just because of how over-the-top evil she is. She rapes her son. She fucking rapes a 12-year-old boy. What's up with that? Black Christmas 06 couldn't be more of a standard slasher movie. It borrows elements liberally from other horror films, and the killer's a total silly pants. Don't watch this Black Christmas. Watch the original instead. I give Black Christmas that yellow bastard out of Scrooge sex tape. Merry Christmas and happy, non-Christmas holidays. And a Happy New Year!
Russians shot his sleigh down. Santa Claus is dead.